Libra darling, something powerful is about to unfold. Between November 12th and 15th, 2025, a rare cosmic alignment is preparing to unlock what may be one of the most significant financial turning points of your life. If you felt a sudden urge to play the lottery, noticed repeating numbers like 777 or 1111, or had vivid dreams about money, golden light, or someone handing you an envelope, this is not a coincidence. This is a sacred invitation from the universe. And today, you're here because something inside of you, perhaps your higher self, chose to listen. Welcome to Zodiac Whisper Tarot. This is not just a general reading, it is a focused, high-frequency message channeled directly for you, Libra, from the stars, through the cards, and into your intuitive heart. In the next few minutes, we will decode why this window of time, November 12th to 15th, is what I call a miracle portal. You'll discover how a single inspired action, guided by the signs you've already started seeing, can unlock unexpected abundance, emotional fulfillment, and spiritual confirmation that you are, in fact, on the path meant for you. Let me ask you something, Libra. Have you ever felt like the universe was whispering your name, placing synchronicities in your path, nudging you through feelings you couldn't explain? Maybe you've noticed a number flash on your screen over and over again. Maybe your heart skipped a beat when you passed by a lottery stand. Or maybe you felt a shift in your energy field, like something is building, but you can't quite name it yet. These are not random. These are signs, and they are meant for you. Right now, Venus, your ruling planet, is forming a powerful trine with Jupiter, the planet of expansion and blessings. At the same time, the moon moves through Taurus, activating your 8th house of unearned income, gifts, inheritances, and miracles through unexpected channels. This isn't just astrology. This is divine orchestration. You are being placed in a cosmic current, and the invitation is simple: align, receive, and act. But before we go any further, let me take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here. Every like, every comment, and every subscription you offer brings you closer to the heart of this sacred community we're building together. Your support allows me to continue delivering these soul-centered messages and spiritual guidance that, I pray, reach you exactly when you need them. And Libra, trust me, you'll want to stay with me until the very end of this video, because what the universe is preparing to reveal today is nothing short of breathtaking. We'll explore not only the planetary alignments and tarot revelations, but also a true story of divine timing, a real-life moment when God's hand intervened through a lottery win at just the right moment. That miracle didn't happen by chance, and if you're here today, neither will yours. So I invite you to take a deep breath with me, center yourself, and prepare to receive this guidance. And if any part of this message already resonates with you, I encourage you to comment below with a number you've been seeing recently, whether it's 777, 1111, or another pattern that's been following you. Let this be your way of saying, yes, I see the signs. Yes, I'm ready. Because the moment you claim your readiness, Libra, you begin walking through the door that destiny has quietly been unlocking for you all along. Now, let's begin. There's something remarkable unfolding in the cosmic background right now, Libra, and it's far deeper than a lucky streak or a sudden twist of fate. The planetary alignment between November 12th and 15th is not just astrologically rare, it's energetically potent. As the moon travels through steady, grounded Taurus, it activates your 8th house, the area of life tied to shared resources, hidden gifts, and unexpected blessings. But this isn't just about material gain, it's about what happens when the universe recognizes your patience, your quiet perseverance, and your ability to stay true to your values, even when results have been delayed. What makes this period so powerful is the harmonious trine between Venus, your ruling planet, and expansive Jupiter. Venus is not just the planet of beauty and love, but of value, self-worth, and the things we attract when we feel aligned with who we are. Jupiter, the great magnifier, blesses what it touches. When these two planets come together in such a supportive way, it's like the universe opening a vault, not because you stumbled into it, but because you earned the key long ago. This energy doesn't just give. It confirms. It validates. And for you, Libra, it's a celestial whisper that says, it's your turn. This particular planetary collaboration happens only a handful of times in a lifetime with this level of impact. And for Libra, who often gives more than they receive and maintains harmony even in inner storms, this is a gentle yet undeniable message that something you've been waiting for, whether consciously or not, is approaching. It may come in the form of financial support, an opportunity tied to partnership or inheritance, or even a shift in how you receive abundance. The important thing is to recognize that this moment is not about grasping or chasing. It's about alignment. It's about being in a state of quiet receptivity, open enough to notice the doors the universe is swinging wide open. What's also meaningful here is the energy signature of 1111 that continues to echo during this time. While you've likely heard this described as a portal, it's much more than that. It's a mirror, a reflective moment when your inner world and outer circumstances line up in perfect resonance. It's when the intentions you've planted long ago begin to show signs of sprouting. This isn't the season of planting seeds. It's the season of beginning to see them break through the soil, tender but full of promise. When I guide others through energy work, I often remind them that true abundance doesn't always start in the bank, it starts in the body, the breath, the belief. And during a window like this, when Venus and Jupiter are in harmonic flow, the universe mirrors back to you what you've been quietly building inside. If you've spent years trying to heal your relationship with money, feeling like you must work twice as hard for half as much, this alignment may gently dissolve that old belief. Not by force, but by evidence, through a gift, a message, an opening that shifts your perspective from scarcity to sufficiency. And yes, while we aren't speaking in the context of traditional faith, the practice of daily trust, of waking up and choosing to believe that life can surprise you in beautiful ways, is a sacred one in itself. You don't have to pray for miracles on your knees to receive them. Sometimes, the miracle is found in the decision to stay open one more day. To follow one more intuitive nudge. To notice one more number that seems to follow you like a soft echo from a greater plan. So if you've been seeing SXS or 8's numbers of harmony, material stability, and cycles of return, know that you are not imagining it. These are signals, gentle validations that you are entering a chapter where reward replaces resistance. The copper gold of Venus and the lush green of prosperity aren't just lucky colors. They're visual cues from the energetic world, reminding you of what you're already tuned into. Libra, you are not being tested, you're being trusted. This is your opportunity to receive what's been accumulating behind the scenes. Your only job is to stay open. Stay grounded. And remember, what finds you in these next few days may not just change your bank account, it may restore your faith in timing, and in yourself. There's a quiet wisdom in the way the cards speak, not loud, not urgent, but certain, steady, and deeply resonant. And in this moment, Libra, they're speaking to you. They're not forecasting something random or vague. They're illustrating a divine pattern, one you've been sensing for a while now but maybe haven't yet fully named. That sense of things shifting, of time bending slightly in your favor, of something aligning behind the curtain? The cards are here to confirm it. The Wheel of Fortune appearing first in your spread is no small message. It marks the moment when stillness turns into motion, when delays give way to movement, and what once seemed unreachable becomes accessible. But this isn't the spin of a roulette wheel. It's a turn of fate that's already been set in motion by every choice you've made, every time you stayed hopeful in the dark, every time you chose patience over panic. This is not about luck. It's about divine rhythm. The wheel turns because it's time. And as that wheel moves, it ushers in the grounded, self-assured energy of the Nine of Pentacles. This is the card of self-earned abundance. It doesn't speak of sudden windfalls that fall into your lap, but of rewards that arrive because you have been quietly cultivating them behind the scenes. It celebrates the version of you that honors value, not just financial, but emotional, energetic, and personal value. It affirms that your journey towards stability is not only valid but sacred. You're not waiting to be rescued, you're simply aligning with the harvest that's already growing from seeds you planted long ago. Then comes the Star. What a gentle, luminous reminder that your wishes, those ones you've whispered when no one was listening, are not being ignored. The Star appears when hope needs reinforcement. When the heart has been stretched and tired. It arrives not just to comfort, but to confirm, the universe has heard you. And now, under this energy, you're being asked to keep believing, not because you're desperate, but because you are worthy. You're not chasing miracles. You're embodying the readiness for them. What's so powerful about this combination is that it weaves together momentum, maturity, and magic. The wheel brings momentum, the Nine of Pentacles brings grounded maturity, and the Star brings divine inspiration. And together, they say, the moment you've been preparing for is arriving, not in a blaze of drama, but in a quiet breakthrough. That might look like a nudge to take one small action: buying that ticket, sending that message, making that call. Something simple. Something your intuition has already whispered. And in doing so, you affirm your trust in the guidance you've been receiving all along. From a soulwork perspective, this spread is about allowing the physical world to reflect what's been happening in your internal world for some time. It's about recognizing that transformation doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes, it looks like a soft yes. A peaceful step. A tiny door opening because you were finally willing to knock. If you've ever felt like the universe was just waiting for you to say, "I'm ready," then consider this moment your sign. You don't have to make a big leap. You just have to say yes to the guidance that's already finding its way to you. And maybe you don't feel fully confident yet, and that's okay. Growth rarely starts with confidence. It starts with curiosity, with faith in forward motion, with the simple act of showing up for your own life in a new way. So if your heart skips when you hear this message, if your breath catches when you see certain numbers repeating, or feel chills for no reason, then dismiss it. Those are energetic confirmations. They're the unseen architecture of destiny shifting around you. Pay attention to what calls your name softly. Sometimes, the gentlest voice carries the loudest truth. Sometimes the simplest shift creates the most profound change. Libra, this is one of those moments. You've already felt the energetic buildup, the whispers of something forming just beyond what you can see. And now, as we move deeper into this sacred window between November 12th and 15th, the energy is calling not for perfection, but for participation. This is not a time for overthinking. It's a time to engage with your intention, with your energy, and most importantly, with your trust. You're an air sign, graceful, balanced, deeply thoughtful, but that same analytical nature can sometimes hold you in place when your spirit is ready to move. The law of attraction, which is so often misunderstood as a passive wish-making process, actually begins to work in full power when you take aligned action. Not grand, risky leaps. Just small, deliberate steps. Intentional motion. A soft yes to the unseen momentum that's building in your favor. What happens during these few days is more than symbolic. Your thoughts, your words, your movements, they become broadcasting signals. Everything you emit emotionally is like a frequency, and that frequency draws back what matches its vibration. If you begin your day with lack, you carry the lens of limitation. But if you begin with a simple affirmation, a written intention, or even a single moment of honest gratitude, the entire trajectory of your energy shifts. And that shift is what calls in the blessing. Let's bring this closer to the body, to the breath, to something real. Imagine waking up, placing your feet gently on the floor, and before touching your phone or speaking to anyone, writing down just one thing you're ready to receive. Not a fantasy, but something your soul has longed for, something you've quietly prepared yourself to receive. Then, with your hand on your heart, speak it aloud. Let the vibration of your voice merge with the vibration of your desire. That is alignment. That is co-creation. At midday, as the pace of life pulls you outward, take a breath. Return to your center. Place your palm back on your chest and remind yourself that abundance is not earned through strain, but drawn through openness. When you affirm that things are flowing easily to you, you're not denying your challenges, you're stepping beyond them. You're choosing the energy you move from, and that choice reconfigures what's possible. Before bed, invite reflection, not just mentally, but emotionally. Think back over your day and name 3 signs that made you pause, even briefly. Maybe you saw a repeating number, maybe someone said something that felt strangely personal, or maybe you felt a warmth in your chest at an unexpected moment. These aren't coincidences. They're markers of energetic alignment. When you notice them, acknowledge them. When you acknowledge them, give thanks, not just as a ritual, but as a quiet act of power. There's something incredible that happens when you express gratitude in advance. It's not about forcing belief or pretending everything is perfect. It's about practicing the posture of receiving. And when you do that, you unlock a reservoir of strength, creativity, and flow that already lives inside you. This isn't about proving anything to the universe. It's about proving to yourself that you are ready to receive without fear, without guilt, and without hesitation. There are so many stories, quiet ones, miraculous ones, of people who, in a single moment of courage or clarity, opened a door that had been closed for years. Not because they pushed, but because they aligned. Because they trusted. And because they remembered that miracles often begin with small, private yes. So Libra, take your yes seriously. Let it be soft but certain. Let your thoughts, words, and actions move together, not because you have to earn your blessing, but because you are already becoming the person who can hold it. You don't need to rush, or force, or chase. you only need to respond. Let this be your 3-day reset, your quiet agreement with what is trying to find you. And remember, the greatest miracles often arrive through the smallest acts of readiness. Rather than waiting for the moment to be perfect, Libra, consider this: the moment becomes perfect when you respond to it. That's the lesson woven into the current cosmic flow. So many times, especially for a sign as graceful and contemplative as yours, there's a tendency to pause, to weigh every option, to wait for certainty. But the energy of this season isn't asking for perfection, it's asking for participation. In truth, timing doesn't always arrive wrapped in clarity. Sometimes, it comes cloaked in a quiet nudge, an intuitive pull, or a dream that lingers in your chest long after you wake. You might find yourself seeing the number 777 more than once. Or feel an unexpected urge to buy a ticket, reach out to someone, or say yes to something you don't yet fully understand. That's not wishful thinking, that's energetic alignment. That's your internal compass syncing up with a frequency greater than logic. And this is important: not every action you take will produce a material result right away, but every aligned action becomes a declaration of belief. A message to the unseen world that you trust its timing, and you're willing to meet it halfway. The principle here is simple but profound: belief alone, without motion, begins to fade. That's not a statement of spiritual law, it's simply how energy works. Action rooted in belief sets things in motion, both within you and around you. You don't have to force anything. But you do have to follow the rhythm. If you felt the pull to listen to this message, then something is already in motion. Your only job now is to continue the dance. Even if the step is small, even if it's quiet, it counts. In love, this may show up as an unexpected message from someone who's been thinking about you, or a subtle invitation to let your guard down just enough to receive. In work or finances, it could be the ideal moment to revisit a conversation, renegotiate terms, or submit something you've been hesitating on. In health, it's about subtle consistency. A 20-minute walk in the morning isn't just physical maintenance, it's an energetic reset. It clears your field. It keeps Venus and Jupiter's harmonious influence flowing. And the foods you choose, the hydration you prioritize, these become small ways of honoring your heart space, of keeping your body in tune with the energy of abundance rather than depletion. One story comes to mind of a woman who'd been praying for a change in her circumstances. Nothing seemed to move for years, until one day she felt the strong, strange urge to take a different route to work. Along that new path, she passed a small community center and walked in on impulse. That one moment led her to an opportunity that completely shifted her life. Was it coincidence? Maybe. But more likely, it was a quiet miracle disguised as ordinary choice. And that's often how grace arrives, not in thunder, but in footsteps. That's what this energy is offering you now, Libra. Not a dramatic overhaul. Not a crash of lightning. But a gentle opening. A set of cues. A reminder that you already know what to do, you just needed the permission to trust it. So whether your signal comes through a number, a dream, a gut feeling, or a breath that feels more meaningful than usual, don't overlook it. Respond. Say yes, even softly. And when you do, say to yourself, I confirm the sign. That small phrase has power. Because it aligns your awareness with your faith. And that alignment is the birthplace of all meaningful change. There's something undeniably powerful about those moments in life when belief meets perfect timing. Not the kind of belief that demands proof, but the quiet, steady faith that lives in the background of our daily lives, guiding us to pay attention to the signs, nudging us to take action even when logic hasn't caught up. One story I remember clearly came from a Libra woman living in Manila. She wasn't looking for anything in particular that day. It was a normal November morning, like any other. But she noticed the number 1111 appear on her phone, then again on a street sign, and then on the receipt for her breakfast. 3 times. She said it wasn't spooky, it was comforting, as if something was trying to speak to her through repetition. Later that same day, she felt drawn to a quiet street vendor selling lottery tickets. Normally, she would have passed by without a second thought. But something in her stirred. A calm, persistent voice within said, "Do it." So she did. 3 days later, she discovered that the ticket she purchased had won her a life-changing sum of money. Not millions, but enough to pay off the medical bills that had been slowly suffocating her family for months. Enough to bring her father home from the hospital. Enough to give her mother the treatment she had been postponing. It wasn't about luxury. It was about relief. About restoration. When she told me this story, what struck me most wasn't the money. It was the clarity she had in her voice when she said, "This wasn't luck. This was a response." And I knew exactly what she meant. When you've been holding faith quietly inside you, when you've been showing up every day, praying not with your words but with your patient sight, doesn't surprise you when the universe finally answers. It humbles you, yes. But it doesn't surprise you. Because deep down, your soul already knew it was coming. This is what I call a modern miracle. Not because it breaks the laws of reality, but because it follows a higher order, a divine rhythm that brings together alignment, trust, and timing. And for you, Libra, this same pattern is active now. Maybe you've already started noticing the numbers. Maybe you've already had the dream. Or maybe you've simply felt that gentle inner push to do something you wouldn't normally do, something small, something symbolic, something sacred. Don't overlook it. These gentle cues are often how your greater path speaks to you. You don't need to be certain. You just need to be available. And sometimes availability looks like taking a leap that makes no logical sense but feels deeply aligned. Whether it's purchasing a lottery ticket, applying for something you don't feel fully qualified for, sending a message you've been afraid to send, or walking into a room you weren't planning to enter. It's not about control. It's about responsiveness. It's about understanding that when the moment finds you, all it needs is your presence. From a practical standpoint, the idea of faith is not exclusive to any spiritual path. It's a universal principle. It's what gives structure to the law of attraction. It's what allows an intention to take root. It's what gives your actions weight. When belief is matched with movement, the universe, whatever you choose to call it, responds. And often, it responds in the form of healing, opportunity, or grace that touches more than just your circumstances. It touches your understanding of what's truly possible. So if you've been waiting for a sign, consider this it. And if your heart has been preparing for something greater, don't be surprised if it arrives through an ordinary moment, just like it did for that woman in Manila. Sometimes, miracles don't show up with thunder. They come quietly, wrapped in something so simple it would be easy to miss. Unless you were already listening. Libra, if you've made it this far, then something inside you already knows this wasn't just a horoscope. This was a moment of alignment. A message wrapped in clarity, arriving right when you were open enough to receive it. What you do with this moment is entirely up to you, and that's where your power lies. The universe may guide, but it's your willingness to respond that activates the blessing. So I invite you to pause and reflect. What if everything you've seen, felt, or sensed in the past few days wasn't random? What if those repeating numbers, strange dreams, or quiet urges to act were actually signals? What if you are already standing in the middle of the miracle you've been praying for but just haven't recognized it yet? Take a breath and ask yourself gently, what is one small action I can take today to honor what I now know? Maybe it's writing down your intention. Maybe it's buying that ticket. Maybe it's simply allowing yourself to believe, for once, that good things can happen to you, too. Not later. Not someday. But now. You don't have to figure it all out. You only need to say yes. Yes to the signs. Yes to the invitation. Yes to the idea that you are allowed to be the one who receives without guilt, without hesitation. If the message today stirred something inside you, that's not by chance. It's resonance. That's the soul recognizing truth. I want to gently remind you that change doesn't always begin with bold declarations. Sometimes, it starts with a single comment, a small confirmation, a whisper of readiness. So if you feel called, share below, I am ready to receive my financial blessing, or I trust the signs the universe is sending me. Because when you write it, you anchor it. You claim it. You begin shifting your energy from hoping into knowing. And as you walk forward into the coming days, remember, you're not doing this alone. Here at Zodiac Whisper Tarot, we are a family of seekers, dreamers, and believers in divine timing. When you like this video, when you subscribe, when you share it with someone you love, you help expand the energy of belief and breakthrough into the world. And that ripple matters more than you know. So thank you, deeply, for being here. For trusting me to guide you through this message. For letting your heart remain open, even in a world that sometimes asks you to close it. You are seen. You are supported. And you are so worthy of everything that's on its way to you. Now I want to ask you, what signs have you been seeing lately? What's been calling your attention? And more importantly, what's one action you're willing to take in the next 24 hours to align with the miracle you feel is near? Leave your answers in the comments, because sharing your story might just give someone else the courage to begin their own. Libra, the stars have whispered your name. The rest is up to you. So take the next step with trust in your heart and gratitude in your breath, knowing that sometimes, the smallest act of faith is what moves everything into motion. The miracle isn't far away. It's already here waiting for you to reach back.